Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be once more with Techne Summit in another year. And especially today, I'm very honored that I have with me Magued Mahmoud. So welcome, Magued. And I would also like to ask you to yourself say a couple of words about yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sara. It's great to be part of Techne Summit this year. Thank you for having me. My name is Magued Mahmoud. I'm leading Dell Technology Center of Excellence here in Egypt. On the personal side, I'm a father of three. My passion is scuba diving, desert safari, playing sports, a lot of sports. And what motivates me is making an impact on others and helping others, people and organization. On the professional level, I'm an engineer. I started my career I started realizing that I'm passionate in IT back in 1984 when I did the first video game. Yes, and it was 94 when I did that, and I won the first prize for that, and I realized that IT is my passion. And when I graduated, I started working in a multinational company. So I worked throughout my career, more than 30 years in the IT industry, and it's all in American multinational companies. I did 9 different jobs across the globe. And the latest is the job that I have today, which is leading the Center of Excellence for Dell Technologies in Egypt. And I started actually the center from scratch back in 2009. And I grew it all the way to become today 18 different business units, more than 1,500 people. And it's a story that I'm very, very proud of. And when actually we started the center, I had a dream to change the perception of the offshore centers being low-cost hotel, and to really partner with our internal and external customer and understand their needs, their challenge, their requirement, and really add value to them. And we defined success from the very beginning of the center by that the success is when we make a positive impact on our customer and stakeholder, on the people in the center, and on the society as well. And I enjoy basically very much starting new function, new teams, and new companies. And I did that several times in my career. And I enjoy doing strategic management, organization structure, putting operational model. And in terms of leadership, I started my first people management role 10 years into my career. But I can say that I started practicing, or actually the leadership behavior, since the get-go, from the first year of my professional career. So that's me.
Quite impressive. I had to actually have you say that about yourself, because I was personally very impressed reading also about the beautiful things that you've accomplished. On that note, really well done. And it's very nice that we have calibers like you in our country taking care of not just having a low-cost hotel, as you mentioned. But I'm guessing this wasn't easy. So setting it up from scratch. And I believe also there are only a numerous or a couple of Center of Excellences for Dell. Having Egypt one of them is something to be honored about. So how did you manage that? How was your leadership style then, trying to build something that didn't even exist?
Well, yeah, definitely. We're very proud to have the center here in Egypt, and actually, it's very interesting. The leadership style, it changes from depending on when we started. It was like a startup, so I had to lead the organization like you would manage a startup organization, and where you're very much hands-on, where you're very much involved in building the organization structure, putting a structure in place, putting the processes in place, selecting the people, and each one who's joining, and building your team, and finding the right formula and the right business model to be successful, and building the relationship. And at the beginning, it's so much internal focus, and it's very much like short, intense cycle. And then you reach a stage where the company becomes large enough, hundreds of people. and you need to have a different style. You need to change your leadership style, and you need to evolve, because otherwise you won't be able to continue the same way. So success of a small organization when we started, and it was like a startup, is very different from the success today, and in terms of leadership focus and style. And you find that in a lot of startups where they sometimes the shareholders would ask the founder even to step down, and they bring a seasonal leader because the organization becomes completely different, and you need to manage it differently and a different style. Once the organization is larger, you need to focus on how to scale up, how to focus on and to do that you need to empower people, and you need to coach people rather than being hands-on. You need to build more relationship. And you wouldn't be able to achieve that unless you have that in mind by design. So you build the organization structure to be independent of your presence and existing on a regular basis. You build the caliber and capability and the leadership skills in the team, and you delegate and empower over time. And with that, you have more time for strategic thinking, planning, more analysis, and looking at the bigger picture, building relationship, external relationship, and that's how you take the organization to the next level, and you can scale. So it varies, it changes actually over time. The leadership style needs to change with depending on the size of the organization. And of course, as this happens, we need to keep always we don't forget the basics. Okay, in the U.S. they say the great motivators in business are make money, save money, and stay out of jail, and that refers to the generating revenue. Any business you generate revenue, control the cost, and manage the risks. And these are the very important three elements. And sometimes when you're overexcited about what you're doing, sometimes you forget about some of these, and it doesn't end well. So these are the basics that you need to keep in mind all the time as the organization grows and evolves. So that's in brief how the things evolved in the organization, starting from the get-go till we have the organization at the size that we have today.
I'm amazed by the amount of very important things that you actually touched upon right now. So just for everyone out there, there's some treasures hidden in each and every word that you've mentioned. I believe they even conduct trainings on each one of them. So you mentioned that, as far as I understood you, this means that your leadership style has changed with the development of the organization, which started a little bit more on an organizational, operational level once everything was from scratch. But you had the flexibility to actually step back a little and have a more supervisory role, as well as the strategy of where you want to go, right?
Yes,
Is this something where you say some people have difficulty in? So if I'm more attached to whether it's an engineering, we both share that background, or IT, or we share the passion for working on things with your own hands, that you still want to keep attached to that and not take a step back or focus more on what you said, creating revenue, saving costs, or managing risks, like wanting to be involved in the details so much, wanting to be involved in each and everything happening on a day-to-day basis, and not really managing this keyword that you said with scaling up and being able to take a step back and have the right people, the right calibers doing the day-to-day business, and you actually taking care of growing the business and focusing on the three things you mentioned.
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, that's the normal evolution. And it depends. Some people like the startup, and they say, okay, now I took the organization from scratch to put it on the right track, and now I can leave and move to my next startup. And actually, in my career, if you look at the talking back about my experience, I did that several times, moved from one job to the other. But with this last job, I decided I would like to take it to the next level. I would like to experience how it's like to have 1,000+ organization, and this adds to my development and helps me make an impact at a larger scale. Because at a certain age, you start thinking about how much impact you're making, how much legacy you're leaving, how much, and you try to make excuse as much as possible for the accumulation of experience that you have and make a bigger impact. And I thought that getting a larger organization involved would help with achieve this objective as well.
Great. And when you're having these different phases and different roles, as you mentioned, how is it possible to keep people nonetheless engaged and motivated in spite of these changes taking place?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. And people around me who dealt with me a lot and know that I repeat that all the time. I believe that the success of an organization is about the people that you select from the get-go and the culture that you create. So this is the foundation. And this defines how big your structure and the organization will be. If you get the right organization from the get-go, get the right people, and get the right culture in place, then you'll be successful. And all the statistics would tell you that the financial success of a company, for instance, is dependent on how much you give the customer a differentiated experience. And you wouldn't be able to give customer a differentiated good experience if you don't have your team member engaged and motivated and empowered. And to do that, it starts by caring about people. They say that people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Okay, so if you want people really to engage and to work with you, you should care about people. You should understand empathy and understand that people are different, and need and that's very important to unlock the potential of every team member that you have, and to boost their energy and get the best out of them. And so that's a very important thing. And the other thing is to create a diverse environment. All the studies are showing that diversity, when you have a diverse environment and you allow people to be being themselves at work and being comfortable and feel included, this is how you get the best out of them, and you get them very loyal, and you get them to really contribute positively. So diversity and inclusion is very important aspect. But in general, what you need to think about what motivates people, because this is how you create a good environment, by motivating people. And people are motivated by the good work environment, to have an environment where they can learn, they can develop, they can have career growth, they get an exposure, they're challenged on a regular basis by getting stretch assignment and challenged professionally, recognized, being fairly treated, empowered. So it's very important to empower people, give them opportunity to lead initiative, to implement their innovative ideas, and let them fail and learn from the failure. It's okay. And all that would get people to be more engaged and to give their best. And that's how you create a positive environment.
Very well said. So a good culture that also promotes diversity and at the same time allows the organization to learn from their failures and not stop at it. And also you mentioned good people. So having the good people on board, good calibers, good leaders as well. One of the challenges that good leaders are actually facing this year is the amount of uncertainty and ambiguity that's going on right now, which is also going to be part of our world for some time to come. How do you think good leaders can get past that or can master it, so to speak?
Yeah, great question, Sara, and thank you for bringing that up, because we are going through unprecedented time. In my whole career, I would say that this is the most difficult year in my career that we've gone through, and it's difficult because it's of the uncertainty. It's very difficult to predict and to plan in this environment. And I think one of the traits of leaders at the strategic level is how to deal with ambiguity and uncertainty and change. And the key element is to be calm and to be realistic, okay? Because things are out of your controls, and it's important to be logical and realistic. And I like what the model that they say to deal with crisis situations, the PAAA: pause, assess, anticipate, and then act. So you don't jump to action. You need to take your time, think about how to deal with the situation, and there are things that you can't control, and you need to be aware of that. And you should focus on what you can control and not to drain your energy on what you cannot control. That's very important, and it's a mindset. It's our mindset is to it's about our mental toughness. It's about deciding that I'm going to move to the driver's seat and look at what I can control, and try to understand the dynamics of what's happening around me, and be agile. And with any change, while there are a lot of challenges, the flip side of that is the opportunities that gets created. If I think about that, if this is my mindset, and I'm thinking about, I'm in the driver's seat, I'm deciding where I'm going next. I'm not letting things control my destination. And then you can seize the opportunity and you can be very successful. And I think this is how, saying it is easy, but doing it is much more difficult. But at least that you get the idea of what you need to focus on in such stuff.
Of course, and it's I can really understand and feel what you're seeing, actually, especially with the shift of before having leadership more focused on command and control and knowing all the variables. The best forecast is the way to really go about it, but now these are things that we can't actually achieve completely. So I really like the PAAA part, and also the calmness that we need. So to be honest, I really have so many things that I would like to discuss with you and to highlight to everyone. I'm looking forward to a second chance as well to chat with you and to be also again in person in Techne Summit. But we have very little time. So I want to leave the final words with you with regards to your advice to young leaders. So people who are still emerging and looking forward to that empowerment and facing also a difficult environment as well. So what would be your advice?
Yeah. Thank you, Sara. Well, my first advice would be to challenge yourself on a regular basis. Try always to challenge you. Don't be complacent. Try all the time to, they say, happy but never satisfied. Okay, raise the bar high all the time. Try to get what's next, because that's how you get people around you. As a leader, you want to help people to grow and need to get the organization to the next level. So always challenge yourself and always try to raise the bar and look at the next level. The other important thing is the success of a leader is so much dependent on the people. So a leader needs to see the strength in people. One of the best book I've ever read is the Winner Within from Pat Riley. It talks about how within a team you look at the positive. Not everyone has a strengths and weakness, but if you capitalize on the strengths of everyone in the team, you get much better results than if you capitalize on the negative. And that's a great book, and it's about understanding what is the strength of the people that you have around you and make sure that you capitalize on it and create a good environment for them. The other thing is, I mentioned that, is about try to make a positive impact in the society. Leave a legacy. At a certain point of time, we are so much into everyday, our daily work and pressure, but at the end of the day, our career will end, and you want to leave a legacy and make sure that you contribute and make a positive impact in the society. This is very important, and the earlier you start that, the better and more impact you'll be able to make. So I would say, and finally, lead by example. People are looking at you all the time, and the way you lead, integrity, selflessness, being humble, all that, people will learn from you, and you have bigger responsibilities than just because people are following and are learning from you, and it's very important. And never stop learning. We are in an age of things are moving very fast, and to be relevant, you need to learn all the time and be hungry for knowledge and innovation. That's what will make you successful and relevant, and continue to strive and grow.
Well, thank you very much. So we're telling everyone, every attendee at Techne Summit 2020, please challenge yourself. Please focus on the strengths and the people that you have. Please also have a positive impact wherever you are, and definitely lead by example, just as you have been leading by example. Magued, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And thank you very much for having the impact that you have, whether on Dell or also on our society. Thank you very much.
Sara, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you today. Thank you.
Thank you.